Ahsoka Tano and our heroes will seemingly face off against Merrick multiple times throughout the series. The latest trailer sees Ahsoka in a confrontation with the Inquisitor in a forest with red leaves, seemingly being the same forest where Sabine Wren, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, is seen dueling the villainous Shin Hati, Ivana Sakno. The initial teaser trailer from April also revealed that Ahsoka will face Merrick in an industrial location. The industrial location duel is believed to take place earlier on in the series, whereas the forest confrontation seemingly takes place later in the series when Tano and Wren are on their journey to find and stop the return of the series' big bad, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Lars Mikkelsen, due to the shorter hairstyle being sported by Sabine Wren as the Mandalorian cuts it ahead of the duo's quest beginning. Though it's not been shown in any of the trailers, an image of Merrick was shown at Star Wars Celebration in April which saw the Inquisitor piloting a starfighter. Currently we don't know when this takes place. The Inquisitor could simply be tracking Ahsoka or our heroes to one of the locations we see Merrick and Ahsoka in battle. Alternatively, it could be that our heroes come into conflict with Merrick in space as we see various shots of Hera Syndulla, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren in dogfights. We know pretty much nothing in regards to Merrick, with Lucasfilm attempting to keep their cards close to their chest in regards to the Ahsoka series. The name of Merrick itself comes from Arthurian legends, with the name believed to be associated with a knight that's thought to be a werewolf. It's clear in Merrick's design, in particular their helmet, that it's been inspired by medieval knights, and given Dave Filoni's obsession with wolves, it seems fitting that this name be bestowed on the Inquisitor. Fans have seen various glimpses of a mysterious Inquisitor in multiple pieces of Ahsoka marketing material, but now the identity of the villain has seemingly been revealed. The name is awfully familiar to Galen Merrick, aka Starkiller, from Star Wars Legends, so I'm guessing it's an intentional homage to him. Based on the look of the Inquisitor, there were many who speculated that it could be Eighth Brother from Rebels, even though he appeared to fall to his death after an accident with his lightsaber helicopter, because, well, in Star Wars falls never seem to kill anyone. The name Merrick makes that less likely, but I still think it's a very real possibility that this could be the same person. Similar to how Obi-Wan Kenobi called the third sister Reva instead, I think when introducing the Inquisitors to more casual Star Wars audiences that aren't familiar with all the terminology, using a more standard name makes complete sense. It could simply be that the Eighth Brother's real name is Merrick, just like the third sister's name is Reva or the ninth sister's name is Mos-Anatide, etc. So while it doesn't seem to rule out the Eighth Brother connection, it does seem to rule out some of the other speculation that surrounded the character. For example, one common fan theory was that it was Barriss Offee, and while a story about Ahsoka is the perfect place to continue Barriss's story, this would seem to put that speculation to rest. It will be very interesting to see how the story with this Inquisitor comes into play in this series, which is set around 5 years after the Battle of Endor. This is a time period where the Inquisitorius is long gone, as is Darth Vader, so we'll have to wait and see just how Merrick connects to the story. There are a few clues in the most recent trailer. For one, Ahsoka fights Merrick in, at least, 2 different locations. And there's a glimpse of a ship firing upon Ahsoka, but it also looks like it's firing on the Inquisitor too. So is this Inquisitor a rogue agent? How significant will his role be? We don't have the answers to those questions yet. But at least, for now, we do have a name. But it's cover the true, because Ezra is the Inquisitor. Ezra was always known for collecting helmets and masks. If you have a masked character in Star Wars, it is because the revelation is going to be strong. It already happened with Darth Vader, giving way to Anakin, and the same happened with Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, in great measure with Boba Fett and with Din Djarin in The Mandalorian, and briefly occurred in Return of the Jedi with Leia. Aliases are not strange to Ezra, who used to be called Jabba. As for the motivation to go to the dark side, Ezra is an orphan, and generally when someone grows up without parents, negative feelings always surface, fear to dark side. Ezra altered the Star Wars chronology by bringing back Ahsoka, and therefore himself and the rest of the galaxy. If, in his time in the dark regions, he saw, through the world through other worlds, something that could be the start of another war or something worse, he would surely try to fix that, even if it meant killing Ahsoka. Thrawn is the enemy of Gideon, who supports resurrecting Palpatine, and that is why Ezra will see that Thrawn may be right in his arguments about maintaining the security of the galaxy, without the Emperor, and he finally understood his purpose. So many years in exile with Grand Admiral Thrawn, undoubtedly a leader who could somehow convince him to join forces, to avoid a greater evil, or simply because, like Vader, he understood that only strong leadership would keep the galaxy at peace. If we see the trailers, the Inquisitor's physique coincides with a grown Ezra after spending years in exile. Merrick's name comes from a knight turned wolf, and Ezra was led by wolves several times in Rebels. Every character who goes through both sides of the Force, in the end redeems himself and dies sacrificing himself. And I don't think there's much room for these characters in the future, unless it's in the unknown regions for a Star Wars reboot, like Jedi Survivor already did. For these reasons, Ezra Bridger is the Inquisitor.